Tuscan Glaze is an aging product, to keep it simple, that can be roll or spray applied. Typically roll applied. And then depending upon the individual's technique, you get a mottled appearance. And so when you want to take a close look before we start to stir it with a margin trowel, I'll let you take a look at it so you can see the real thin viscosity. Okay?
Thank you.
And so it will continue to settle out. Thank you. So then basically you just take, and you can see the pigments come up, right? And so periodically you have to continue to stir or agitate the product. Now generally, if you're going to use a roller, you're probably going to need a couple of people with whatever you're going to perform the technique with to keep up. So now we can see that we've got the monolithic color just by stirring the pigment back in. A lot of times what we'll do is do that, let it set 5 minutes, and then stir it one more time, and then you're ready to go. Okay. On the left we've got a limestone finished wall surface. On the right we've got a freestyled finished surface, and you can go either way. Generally what most people are using when they're applying Tuscan Glaze is just a terry cloth towel that you just wad up so that you get an irregular pattern when you pull the material back off. Okay? You could leave it, put it under the roller and leave it on if you want. But typically what you'll find is that after Al gets it covered, then you can just come back up and just basically all you're doing is just absorbing that material back off. And I'll get out of his way. But you can start to see, you just pull the material back off. And you just kind of want to do it in a regular pattern. Go ahead and do it all. What the heck? So here's the key. With Tuscan Glaze, it's the 10 colors. There's no color matching whatsoever. You pick one of the 12 colors, and you roll that coat on, and then depending upon the technique, those are the colors that are going to be achieved. So if someone comes in with a slim and they want to match Tuscan Glaze, no. You pick the closest color, and then depending upon the applicator's technique, he needs to make the sample, not you. Depending upon how he's going to do it, and present that to the owner or the architect for approval. Extremely important. And so it's no more than just going through, and you can see by waiting longer, I pull less material off. Okay? You can grab that water bottle on the other side too, Tom. Is it over there? So you can start to get a feel for that mottled appearance, but you've got to stay right on top of the person, applying that. What you can also do is take a little bit of water, and at that point in time, okay? I mean, there's a million different ways that I could show you, but the simplest way is just use a terry cloth towel and wad it up, and then just carry a water bottle. If you have a light fixture, you can actually apply it in the same fashion. And just like if I'm using my hands, and I spray that and let it run down, you know how you see a rust stain? What it'll do is it'll create that stain right underneath your fixtures, as an example, to get that aged appearance. So there's all kinds of little techniques that you can use. Okay? So it's pretty simple. But in experience in some of our markets, again, the 12 standard colors. If they haven't used it before, I don't always apply whatever color of the stain over the top of a white finish. I usually pick one shade lighter. So as an example, let's say they're going to use Dover Sky, which is a gray color. Pick the color of the stain that's one shade darker, and that would be the appropriate stain for that specific project. Now, if they've already decided that they want a sage stain, pick a color that's one shade lighter than that particular color, because you want that stain to show up. You don't want it to not show up. So one shade darker. Okay? So it's as simple as that. Like I said, you've got a little bit of time, so you can go through and but you can see, just like if you had a light fixture there, then you're going to have that stain that's going to wash down just from the environmental dirt. So it's a pretty neat product. And it's all technique. Okay?